All right. Cheers, Facebook. It is I, Lady Amy Mitchell with Houses of Windsor, and this is Virtual Tea Time with Amy. And today, my special guest is Mickey Rechkemer. Rechkemer? How do you say it?
Perfect.
Rechkemer.
Rechkemer.
Okay.
Excellent.
Awesome. I was like, there's no I, so I don't think it's Rechkemer, but yeah, Rechkemer. Awesome. He was a business advisor, and we met through, let's see, what was it? It was LinkedIn, right? But
LinkedIn. Yeah.
but BNI,
And BNI. That's
yeah,
right.
BNI fellow members, different cross chapters. So before we get too far into it, Mickey, what are you drinking and where are you calling from?
Oh yeah, great question here. I am drinking the strawberry green
Oh,
tea.
nice.
Very floral, very floral.
You like it? Are you
I do. It's very sweet. It's kind of a nice little refreshing tea.
right? Can I see your mug? Because it looked like a pretty cool mug.
Is there's
It's like
my
jeans.
mug. It
That's awesome.
looks like blue jeans, doesn't it?
That's so cool. Oh, and it says your name. That's awesome.
My sister made this for me.
Really?
Yeah. So this is really nice. In fact,
Oh,
even on the bottom, it has,
oh yeah, I see it. Yeah,
oh,
yeah. Happy
no.
birthday.
Oh,
Whoops. Did you
God.
spill your tea? Uh-oh. You got a towel?
So sorry. So sorry.
That's all right.
I'm kidding. I kidding. It's little.
Oh, you're hilarious. That was good. I was like, oh no, did I just make you spill it?
Yeah. Yeah. So she put a birthday little gift at the bottom there.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, that's not what I'm drinking. I'm drinking this over here.
Okay. Very nice. That's a good trick.
Uh,
So I am drinking, surprise, surprise, the organic English breakfast, black tea, because it is still before noon, so I can have my English breakfast.
very good. It is before noon. You're right.
Yeah. And I am not drinking out of my little teacups, but I do have a mug, and it is to celebrate the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. And this one, let's see, which Jubilee was this? Maybe the Golden Jubilee. It was in 2013. Um, yeah. So anyway, it was either the Golden or the Diamond Jubilee. I forget. I should know. I don't know if it says which one, which I
Oh,
cannot turn my cup over because I will spill it.
I was going to be that. You're very smart, holding it up in the air to take a look at it versus
Yeah, but nobody
flipping it
else can
over.
see it. Only I can see. Um. Anyway, so Mickey, thanks so much for joining me.
Well, thanks. It's a pleasure being here. Thanks for letting me be a part of your live virtual tea time. Wow, that's fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. So, okay, so I put in the caption that you're a business advisor. Would you care to expand on that and tell everyone a little bit about what you do?
Sure, thank you. So I started the Achievers Business Advisors back in 2013. So what I did is I set up a business that had availability for me to have a lifetime of income. And I did that by creating a whole plan for, hey, how do I get advisors and associates to help me and work for me, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that. So we kind of set a tone of how do we pace a business for success. And by pace, I look at 4 areas, and just kind of the beginning part of it is just getting to know where somebody's head is at and where they want to go.
Right.
So PACE, P, are they getting a paycheck? A, are they taking time for activities to do what they want to do, what they went into business as thinking they would do? C, are they building credits for their future? And E, what did they have in mind for the end? Or do they have an exit strategy of how they want to leave that business?
Okay.
So a great kind of connection for me is I look for successful professionals who are in business, somewhere between the ages of 30 to 60.
Okay.
Around there, that time frame, who have been in business for more than 3 years.
Okay.
And they may feel they've gotten stagnant, maybe in their growth, or they desire to form a plan capable of giving them some kind of options for their future,
Right.
whether that's business growth or business exit, whatever that is. Let's talk about how they're going to do that.
Right.
And so we tend to act like a board of advisors, if you will, to the smaller business entities.
Okay. So if there's a business owner who's been, we'll say, been in business for, 10 years, and they feel like they just are drowning, like they're just on, like, they live at work, that kind of thing. Do you help those people learn how to step out and let other people take over?
Yeah, let them come out of the closet. No, I'm just, yes, I do. I do exactly that. One of my clients has been in business for over 10 years. Actually, his father started the business and then he bought it from his father
Mhm.
and has been doing it for over 10 years. And now he's taking time to think about what he wants to do to exit the business. So
Okay.
we're focusing on that, and to be able to get him part of the exit is there's many options to exit, right?
Right.
Could just close the doors, just say, hey, I'm done,
Right.
and be done with it and over. You could look at it from gee, I want to have a business that I can pass on to my family, maybe
Hmm.
to a son, daughter, whatever.
Right.
Um, but not every son or daughter or every family member really wants
Yeah.
to own that business or be a part of that business.
Right. Right.
So making sure they got the right fit there is important, but also um, maybe selling the business is the right approach,
Hmm.
and um, or like what I did, I set up a business that gives me an income for the rest of my life. But part of that is, how do we look at what kind of price tag do you put on a business? Well,
Hmm.
I'm not a business broker, so I
Okay.
help them identify what is it that they think they want for it.
Right.
We kind of identify what is it really worth, and how do we, for that gap, how do we level that up so that everybody's talking the same thing at the end of the day? They get their income that they're looking for the business, and everybody's happy. Business broker makes more money sometimes, and so does the business owner, which is the key.
Right. Right. Okay. Nice. So do you want to share? I know you have a bit of a story, right, for the family business you grew up in, and that you wanted.
Yeah, yeah. So I grew up, and my dad, in his mind, thought that he was passing the business to me, the family farm. Well, that didn't quite work down my guidelines. What I got from my dad growing up all those years was not, someday this will be yours, was more like, you're doing that wrong, do it this way, you got to do more of that, you're not working hard enough, all those things that, you
Right.
know, I guess a parent would really want to push on you to make sure you have good work ethics.
Hmm.
And when the day came that I wanted a car, my dad said, no, you're not buying a car. I said, Dad, I've been working here with you all this life. Can you not, like, let me use one of the trucks or something from the
Right.
farm? Let me just, kind of get out. No, 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 no. But we'll start you in a business so you can buy your own vehicle. So 16, he did that. He threw me into business, and found out I was going to still work for my dad no matter how I looked at it.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
when I became ready to go to college, my dad was immediately thinking I would go to some agricultural college. I grew up south of Chicago in the farmlands of Illinois. So he's like, what agricultural college are you going to go to? And I told him, well, Dad, I'm not going to one.
Thank you.
I'm going to go a different direction. And I don't want anything to do with farming, milking, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it hurt him really badly. He was like, no, what do you mean? I'm doing this for you. And it's like, yeah,
Right.
no, I'm tired of it. I'm done. Get it out of here.
Right.
You never said it was for me.
Right.
I
Yeah. You're
never
like,
saw that in my
since
vision, my
when?
future.
Yeah. He says he's doing all this for you. Like, since when? Like, you never told me. That was the
Right,
reason.
right. So that was a rude awakening, and he ended up selling the farm and getting a Snap-on tool franchise, and he went in a whole different direction as well. But he, in his mind, I'm doing this for you, Mickey. And I was like, no, I'm going for the cushy office job,
Right.
something clean, I can wear nice clothes to work, that
Right.
kind of
Right.
stuff. That's what I'm going for. So
Right. And
So anyway, that really threw him off.
so then what did you end up doing? What was your first job out of college? Did you get your clean office job?
I worked as an engineer for a company that built telecommunications equipment
Mhm.
outside of Chicago. So I did that for quite a few years, kind of did some more schooling, did some things like that, and decided that, gee, this cold weather up here in Illinois is not so much fun. My sister moved to Florida, West Palm Beach. I think I'm going to go down there. And she was getting married down in West Palm Beach. So I was like, I'm going to the wedding. I came back, gave my 2-week notice, bolted for Florida after that. I was like, this is great down here. I'm going to go back to Florida. So that Florida, I did some work there with some different companies. So
Mhm.
telecommunications, as well as my brother-in-law decided he was tired of working corporate life. So he said, let's kind of start a lawn maintenance business. We did that. We did really good with that. We sold that. I ended up working some other different type jobs. So I'm
Mhm.
very eclectic in that respect.
Yeah,
So I learned a lot of business from different angles, and
right.
from family-owned businesses all the way to corporate big businesses. Worked at RCA,
Oh, yeah.
worked at a company called Allied Signal Aerospace,
Mhm.
worked for a Scottish company that did
Yeah,
climatic controls chambers, and Italian, they were bought by an Italian company that
right.
did more climatic control chambers. And then I decided, unfortunately, I had this odd thing happen that lost that opportunity to work for the Italian company. I ended up going to South Georgia and starting a banking software company with a friend of mine,
Oh, wow.
which we did very well at. I was a great worker. He was a great visionary individual, somebody who could really kind of take things to the next level. And he sold the business to Equifax Card Services, and
Oh,
that's
wow.
how I got here to the Tampa Bay area of Florida.
Very cool. So then when was it that you decided to essentially become like a business advisor, like to start up the business you're doing now?
Part of the process of selling the business to Equifax,
Hmm.
we hired a great business coach to come in and help us act like real executives, real corporate company, to be able to be, inspired by something. So we had to make a decision. We either need to find a new investor, or we need to find a way to go public, or to find a buyer. So we
Hmm.
ended up finding the buyer side.
Okay.
And in that process, I was kind of told several times, Mickey, you're pretty astute at this. You could be doing this on your own, be a coach. And so I kept that in the back of my mind as I transitioned the employees down
Hmm.
to St. Petersburg, was where we are located,
Hmm.
and set everything up there. And I became an executive for Equifax at that time, and Equifax, the banking side of it. And then part of that turned into another opportunity that Wall Street didn't quite understand. At Equifax, are you a credit card business, an e-banking business, or are you a credit bureau, which everybody knows of you today? And
Right.
so they spun off the divisions I was in.
Hmm.
And so I did an executive role for them. I went, and that eventually spread into another company that we merged in with, called Fidelity Information Services. And I kind of took a opportunity to retire early, so to speak, jumped
Nice.
out, because I
Yeah.
felt like I really wanted to help the small business owner. I wanted to get back to the fast decision making process, the
Oh,
to really
yeah.
make an impact on people's lives,
Hmm.
and part of that was I was traveling an awful lot.
Hmm.
And so 200 days a year on the road, it was
Oh,
a
wow.
little bit more difficult. And that was kind of the last 2 years.
Hmm.
I missed out on family activities. So,
Hmm.
hey, one of the things that I really want to applaud you on is you're taking care of your daughter Piper,
Oh, thank
and
you.
um, starting in a business. I know what that's not quite like as a single parent, but I understand what the
Right.
process is, and that's a lot of work. So congratulations to you for all
Well,
that you created with
thank
the
you.
Houses of Windsors.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, with Piper, I essentially just decided that, or I should say, like, people say, what's your why, right? So aside from the fact that obviously I'm obsessed with everything British and it's like my passion, the deeper why is that I want to show Piper by example that she can do, essentially take care of herself. Now, that's not to say that you don't need like a support like network, right? Like I've got BNI, like you surround yourself by like-minded people. But as far as when it comes to paying the bills and kind of living the life that you want, I don't want her to think that or be taught that she has to get married in order to do so and marry someone rich, because I've heard that too. um and and should she get married and divorced as I did, I don't want her to have the thinking that, oh no, now I have to get remarried fast because I can't take care of myself. So that's the deeper why, is to try to break some of these things that were passed on to me, not pass them on
Yeah.
to Piper. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, that's the part that people miss sometimes. They get wallowed in their own problems and activities, if you will. You rose above that. So congratulations. That's what I wish more people could do.
Right. Well,
So
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you very much. And I was going to ask, so I know you say you have two daughters. Do you have any children besides them?
3 children. I
Okay.
have two daughters and a son. Last chance for the son. We'll
Yeah,
try that.
that's
Carry
great.
on the name. The
Yeah, right,
Rechkemer
right.
name. Lucky
That's,
him. He gets to keep the Rechkemer name. All the girls get to change their names.
yeah, right. Yeah, they maybe get to move to something a little easier to spell.
That's right.
That's great. Yeah, I went from, my maiden name was Turner, and just kept my married name because aside from keeping the same last name as Piper for now, honestly, it was like, I'll be such a pain in the ass if I have to change it because everyone knows. Uh, well, especially when I moved to Florida, everybody here knows me as Amy Mitchell. They wouldn't know, like, it's like, who's Amy Turner, right? So
Yeah, right.
plus I started my business with Amy Mitchell. So aside from all the personal stuff you have to update, I'm like, no.
So from an Anglophile perspective, which is more British, Turner
Well,
or
I know. So
Mitchell?
that's the thing. So I think I'd have to double check this. I think Mitchell is more English. Turner
Okay.
is technically Scottish. So if we're going for straight up Anglophile, which is supposed to be only England, I expand it to Britain. But yeah, so Mitchell is better. But I always thought, it was like, I'm changing, or like basically trading an equally common name. So I went from Turner to Mitchell. It's
Yeah.
not a big switch. Um, but yeah, actually, what's cool on the Mitchell side, or let's see, really, it was probably his mom's, but anyway, um, they have a connection to. I don't know. Are you familiar with the story of the two princes in the Tower of London
A
that were
little bit. Yeah.
mysteriously like murdered?
Yeah. I was just gonna say there's a lot of heads roll in the Tower of London area. Yeah.
Yeah. So those two princes, the in-laws family are connected through, essentially it was kind of like, I think it was like Richard who wanted to, kill the little boys so that they wouldn't take the throne.
Yeah.
They grew up. So Richard, hired somebody or whatever. So the name Lord Terrell, which actually is one of the theories that's like listed in the Tower of London exhibit. So Lord Terrell is their ancestor. He was like the middleman for like the hitman. Which,
So don't mess with the houses of Windsor. You got the right people to come take care of whatever problem exists. Is
I
that what?
know. Except I think it didn't go over well because he ended up in Virginia, and there's like a county named after him, like Terrell County, and they said it's like basically like swamplands. Rewarded.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But so yeah, so I at least so I had married into some interesting British history
I
connected to
guess
the royal.
so.
Yeah, right. Um, but anyway, I was going to ask you, so what is, I mean, clearly we know what my obsession is, right? So what is your special interest, hobby, obsession? What's your thing that like you kind of geek out on or people know you for?
Wow, that's a tough one. Um, that's because right away I'm a geek anyway, so I'm out of it, out of the, what one thing? No,
Right, what's
that's
the one thing? Yeah.
wow, I don't know. Maybe I like to go fishing. Uh,
Okay.
so saltwater fishing, a lot
Okay.
of times, as long as weather permitting, and all the
Hmm.
right atmosphere things, it's fishing Fridays. So every
Okay.
Friday is fishing boating day,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
yeah, if that doesn't work out so well, sometimes I'll go play some golf, or
Oh, okay. Nice.
Scottish activity,
Yeah,
but
yeah. That's all right. We went to Top Golf with the British Chamber a couple weeks ago. It's okay.
oh, did you?
Yeah. So we approve. Um, but so do you have your own boat then that you go out in, or you have a friend with a boat? Well, how do
Yeah,
you do?
my son-in-law and we kind of said, let's just go in and buy a boat together that would be big enough. He had a little
Right.
boat, and I said, well, I'll put some money in. Let's just get a boat that's big enough that handles what we need to do and get
Mhm.
out a little bit further. So we got a 24-foot angler, and it works out very well. There's a little cuddy
Nice.
cabin inside. It's still a walk around,
Oh,
but there's a
that's
cuddy cabin inside for my grandson to take a nap in, and
oh, that's
go
awesome.
to sleep in and stay out of the weather, so to speak,
Right.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and every once in a while we get to go out at night, and we'll just do
Oh
some night
yeah.
fishing and things.
Oh
And
wow.
so it all works out very well. And oh, I gotta tell you this one story. This is
Yeah.
classic. Are you ready?
Okay. Yep.
Maybe I
I'm ready.
shouldn't tell stories. I'm not sure.
No, you can tell stories. Oh, yeah, you're allowed.
Maybe I even told you this before. Did I tell you when we went out fishing at night? It was like a one day a snapper season that they reopened again. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're like, well, let's go out. My son-in-law is like, he's thinking really hard. Let's go out at like
Mm-hmm.
11 o'clock at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night. We'll get to the reef because it
Yeah.
takes about an hour and a half to get there.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
get to the reef, and then it'll be midnight, and it'll be snapper, the one day open snapper
Oh
season.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna beat the odds, right?
Sorry. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna kill it out there. So we fill up with fuel. We
Mm-hmm.
get the boat in the water. We take off. Well, didn't quite check the seas were going to be too rough, or anything like that. So ended up being we got out past the islands that are here in the
Mm-hmm.
Gulf, and seas were pretty bad. They were like 3 feet,
Oh,
and 3 feet on a smaller boat is a little rough. So
yeah.
rather than going 30 miles an hour out to the reef, we were going like 15, 10
Oh yeah.
miles an
Oh,
hour, slow,
yeah,
slow,
yeah, yeah. Very slow. Yeah.
slow go. So we finally get out to the first reef, and we said, okay, great. We spent all this money in fuel. We also bought about $100 worth of bait and
Oh
chum
yeah.
blocks and stuff, just trying to make everything perfect, so we can
Right.
bring back that red snapper. And he anchors the boat over the reef.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the chum bag out, big ordeal. I get all lined up here. We got our fishing poles in the water, and the lines are kind of going at an angle, almost straight out. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't right. It's windy, but it's not that
Yeah.
windy. We must be, drifting. So we look at the Garmin, and sure enough, we're sailing along about 5 miles an hour, really fast. So the wrong direction, by the way, out, not towards
No. Yeah,
land,
yeah.
but the
Right.
other way.
No, no.
So I'm like, the anchor must not have, set
Yeah.
right. Let's go
Right.
reset the anchor. So
Right.
we pull up the anchor, and now it's after midnight at this
Yeah, yeah.
point. So we pull up the anchor, and the chain comes up, the rope comes up, the chain comes up, no anchor.
Oh my gosh.
Here we lost the anchor somewhere on the way out. It was so rough that the anchor sitting out
Oh,
on the
yeah,
very
yeah.
front of the boat came off. I don't know if it came off when we dropped the anchor or if it came up. how it came off, I
Wow.
have no clue.
Oh my
So
gosh.
here we are, like not even a half hour fishing.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
like, well, we can't stay out here.
Yeah, yeah.
So went all the way back in. Zippo came back, Zippo fish.
Oh my goodness.
It was like, what a nightmare. So boy, we made sure the next anchor was really wired on,
Yeah, yeah.
secured. We're all set now.
But
We learned some lessons here
I
along the
was
way.
gonna ask, yeah, I was like, should boats carry a spare anchor? Should there
Well,
be a second anchor on board?
we have a second anchor, but it didn't have a rope long enough for what we needed to do. So it was and it's got a windlass anchor retrieval.
Hmm.
So you push a button and the anchor comes up,
Oh,
rolls it in.
yeah, yeah.
The other one, if you got stuck on a rock or something like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
yeah, it'd be hard
Yeah,
getting it up. So
yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness.
anyway,
Well,
I hope that was entertaining, but it
that
was
was, yeah, and you had not told me that, but that's, yeah, that's
okay.
funny. So, when did you get into saltwater fishing? Like right when you moved here, or did you care about fishing up in Illinois?
Yeah, well, I did a lot of fishing up actually went up to Wisconsin and Michigan areas to go fishing for freshwater,
Hmm.
northern pike, bass, walleye, and muskies.
Hmm.
But every time I'd come to Florida, it was always about, hey, let's get on a boat, let's get out somewhere. If I got to pay somebody charter, whatever, to get out, it was a saltwater fishing was so much more fun
Right,
to me, so much more colorful, even sometimes.
right.
And so all through, kind of growing up and things, we have a little out fishing. So
Hmm.
it's just natural to kind of be in the Florida area
Hmm.
and want to be out on a boat, want to be, fishing on this, even the surf, whatever it took to be able to get out there.
Right, right.
So
Oh, wow. So besides that time with the 3 foot, like waves and stuff, have
yeah,
you had any scary boating stuff that happened
no, that was the
before?
best for
No.
us. That was the worst. That's all we want that to be. Okay.
Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, that's good that that's the worst.
That is the worst. I take that back. Back in when I was younger, we were out on my wife's cousin's boat.
Hmm.
My father-in-law, his brother, we were out fishing, and a thunderstorm came up,
Uh-oh.
and we were still out there in the thunderstorm. If you ever been in a boat on the water, lightning is, thunder is happening all over.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Sounds very
much louder on the water than it is on
Oh,
land. And the rain is coming down so hard you can't see where you're going. And it was a little freaky at that point.
wow.
It's a good thing it wasn't my boat, and it wasn't anything to do with me being captain of the boat either.
Right.
I'm a good first mate if you need one. That's
That's
about it. Okay.
that's good. So, did that boat have like a place to go under the little like cabin to like
No.
hang out? Nope. Everyone's just stuck up in the storm.
Well, there was a bimini top on it, and so we were huddled underneath the bimini
Oh
top
no.
trying to stay dry if you
Right,
could.
right,
That was
right.
kind of impossible.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was maybe the worst, other than the
Mhm.
frustration of losing your anchor out there once you got to the fishing spot.
Right, right.
So
That's yeah, so I don't have a lot of boating experience. I have like zero fishing experience, but growing up in Indiana, I was always very afraid of storms. Well, I'll say like lightning in particular, and obviously tornadoes. I never, well, I shouldn't say obviously, because the Kansans that I know, who in my mind should be afraid of tornadoes, are fascinated. Like, when you're supposed to be down in your basement, they're on the front porch looking to see what they can see.
that's exactly right. It's the excitement of what you got going on around you.
Oh,
You want to see what's going on.
I don't want to see it.
Well, so have you experienced now the sky turning green, yellowish and the green, and
Yes.
the tornadoes are coming? Basically, have you seen that?
So I've seen some. So I will say that since moving to Florida, I am not afraid of these tornadoes because, they come with a random storm or like hurricanes or whatever. It's just not the same kind of like, destruction or what, or like, it's not the same scare level for me.
Yeah.
So I much prefer the tornado, warnings here than, in Indiana. Um, but but my friends growing up, it's like they'd always tease me that I was like too afraid of lightning, and I'm like, well, my family knows a weirdly strange number of people who've been killed by lightning. So
Really?
yeah,
Really? Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's nuts. And so I think we know at least two. There might have been a third one. But anyway, a little weird. So I'm like, yeah, so obviously we're gonna be extra scared of lightning. And then when I moved to Florida, I feel like the lightning is so different here. It's like bigger. I don't know how to describe it. It's like the sky, I mean, the sky is like the same, but it feels like they're like such longer, bigger strikes than what we get in Indiana. Like you're way more likely to get hit here in my mind than in Indiana. So it makes me very nervous when I see people out walking and riding their bikes around Orlando in
During a
the
storm, huh?
summer storms. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So your family has got a little bit of good conductivity in them, huh?
Apparently, yeah. Or no, we just know people with good conductivity. None
You're a
of them
good
are family
connector.
members, but we're yeah. Maybe you don't want to be friends with my family.
No, no,
Maybe
no,
you
of
need to
course we
get,
do.
but yeah, it's pretty crazy. But so that's why, yeah. So a boat, it would freak me out very much if I were out on a boat in a storm because I would feel like, I mean, there's nothing that grounds the boat, right? Like, is the boat fair game to get struck?
Water. Yeah, no.
Right? That's what I thought.
It is one of the highest points on the water, I guess, too, is one.
Yeah, right, right. You got some like metal poles and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, sure. The stainless steel and aluminum. Yeah, it's
Right,
kind of
right.
all over. I guess insulated maybe by the fiberglass. I'm not
Maybe. Yeah.
sure.
That's funny. But so is there I know you said that you had a couple answers prepared. Was there something else that you wanted to say was one of your special interests or hobbies or obsessions?
Well, I kind of went back to my farm life a little bit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We last year, about this was February, kind of decided, hey, let's let the grandson see what it's like to have chicks. So I
oh,
ordered some chicks
yeah.
from
Hmm.
an online company I used to buy chickens from.
Yeah.
I ordered the chicks, they deliver, so they would be delivered Easter. So he could have a
Oh,
chance to play with them in
that's
Easter and
so
all that
cute.
kind of
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
connection, if you will. And
yeah.
so yeah, that was a year ago that we got those chicks. And we got 14 chickens. So
Oh my gosh.
we're excellent,
That's what I was
in
gonna
the
say.
sense of
Yeah. Are they
we
all
have eggs all the time now,
yeah, yeah,
which has been kind of fun because now during the pandemic, if you
yeah,
will, and the quarantine and such,
right.
um, gosh, we gift away some of the eggs. So we've gotten to
Uh,
know all the neighbors because we gift an egg, dozen
yeah,
eggs to each of the neighbors, and kind of check in with them,
yeah,
and it's kind of fun to be able to do that. It's one of the connections that people have with us in that
right.
respect. We're definitely not conductors like you guys are, your family, but we're trying to bring the
Right,
community
right.
together.
You're connecting, not supposed to connect. Yeah, that's hilarious. And how old is your grandson?
He is turning 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, so that would be like if Piper got a bunch of chicks this year because she's 3. So
Yeah.
that's yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that, but
I was going to ask you, is that in
yeah, yeah. I
the
was like, I
future?
don't even have a yard. Do you think I should keep chickens on the 3rd story balcony? Is that advisable?
Well, now they have these support animals, right? You could get a support duck
That's
or a
true.
support goose
Oh
or
yeah,
something, rabbit, perhaps.
that's true. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
how well they'd get along with the 2 cats.
Oh, yeah, you have cats. Yeah, that that could be interesting.
Right. I grew up with so my family, we ended up getting pet rats from the pet store because it was like I was in kindergarten. I don't know, someone brought in like a guinea pig for show and tell. So I wanted a
Yeah.
guinea pig. Then my mom, we went to the pet store and they started telling us like, well, hamsters can be kind of mean, hamsters, gerbils, whatever, they can be kind of bitey. And like, guinea pigs just kind of like sleep the whole time. They don't really want to play. But the rats are actually like very sweet and like will actually, connect or whatever with you. So we got talked into pet rats and they were right. They were awesome.
Were
Like,
they really? Yeah.
yeah, we'd like carry them all around. But we had cats too. So it was like we always had to keep our bedroom doors closed. And like the one time that we might not, we'd open the door and like the cat's laying on top of the cage, like just watching.
You know, any moment now they're going to escape and I'm going to be ready. Yeah, I can
Exactly.
just see
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, because like the rats, like we'd have to put, I don't remember if we put books or what, but we put something to weigh down the top because they would like try to hit it with their nose and try to escape anyway. So we had to try to keep them in and keep
Yeah.
the cats out.
Think of the torment that you put your cats through,
Oh, I
I'm sure
know,
you're
I
playing
know.
with the rat and you go out and play with the cat and the cat can smell the rat on you and they're like,
Exactly.
what's
And
going
they,
on with
yeah,
your head?
and they can hear it like in the room
Yeah.
through the door. They're like, oh my God, like open the door, just let me eat it.
So I have to ask the question, what did you name the rats?
Oh, okay,
Do you
good.
remember?
I do. So my first one I named April after the reporter in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
And then the next one, and then the only other one I had, I named Sammy, which was like after my friend that I had at the time, Samantha. Named a rat after.
Oh, it's good. I thought maybe you're going to name one Mickey Rat or something like that.
Oh, that's funny. Nope, I didn't do any like that. I'm trying to think, what did my brothers? One was Pookie. I can't remember.
Wait, what? Say that one more time.
Pookie?
Poofy?
No, Pookie, like with a K. P-O-O-K.
Oh,
I guess
Pookie.
Pookie. Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I
Um,
thought I heard you say.
yeah. No, yeah. So I've been I've a much better track record with my cat names than my rat names. So
Okay.
the first cat that I named in second grade, his name is Little Dude, and
Little dude.
and he of course became a big fat cat. So the perfect name.
That's right.
And then my cats now are Lord Woogums and Captain Willemstad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that
they have
falls right
nicknames.
into the ladyship that you have.
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh, very good. Very good.
Yes, but okay, so the other question that I love to ask is, do you have any ghost or alien stories to share with us? Or
Wow.
any unexplained like weird things that have happened or to people that you know, um yeah, that have like crazy stories.
Paranormal stuff, you mean, right?
Yes. Yeah, I say
Say,
anything that would be anything that you'd see on like Unsolved Mysteries. Like they'll put up there like the unexplained and whatever supernatural stuff, but
my sister would say I would be the unexplained. So there you go. That's
you,
the,
so we're talking to.
I guess I do recall, I guess from a growing up side of it, you hear things as a kid, and in our family, our immediate family, is only a sister and I, and but our cousins were much older. They
Mhm.
were they were quite a bit older. So we're the young kids, and they would tell those ghost stories all the time. Ooh. So my grandparents, we'd take turns going to my grandparents' house,
Mhm.
and they had a big farmhouse. They had a farm, big farmhouse, and the guest room was upstairs. And upstairs in the
Mhm.
guest room, in well, Indiana, you know what it was like. It was cold in the wintertime. You had
Yeah,
like blanket upon blanket upon blanket, right?
right.
So my grandmother was like German grandmother. You're going to get all the blankets you possibly need, to the
Mhm.
point you couldn't move once you were underneath the blankets.
Right.
And in the middle of the night, all I could hear was the step,
Oh,
step, step coming up the steps to the second floor,
no.
getting louder, as it's going up the steps. And I can hear at the top of the steps, right next to the bedroom door,
Yeah.
is the little kind of half door to the attic.
Oh, right.
Right. And I could hear the of that opening up.
What?
And I'm like it's not like it's early morning, grandma or
Right.
grandpa's not going up into the attic. They stored
Right.
some potatoes and different vegetables up there in the attic, as crazy as that sounds, but it was drier there than in the summer.
Oh, that's funny. That
So,
makes
so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? As a kid, I was not going to leave the blankets because I was buried basically.
Right.
So all I could do was kind of like hide my face and hope that nothing came into the room. But I think it was more of the sound of the wind blowing, the old
Yeah,
house
like the
screeching a
old
little
house.
bit.
Yeah. When you just think you hear
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
but
Yeah. I don't
that's
have any. Yeah.
obviously what's your personal story?
Yeah, I don't really have any. That's why I like asking everybody
No.
else's. I've been on a good ghost tour in Scotland. That I didn't actually see anything, but I feel like if I was going to, that was going to be the one that I'd end up like accidentally possessed. Like the
Oh
story
my.
where like a demon possesses you. So I got lucky that I didn't experience anything there. And then when I visited my friend Claire in England, let's see, it was 2018, and it was at the end of 2018, so it was New Year's going into 2019, and we stayed with a big group of her friends out at an old house in the English countryside, like an Airbnb, and four of us, including me, were up on the fourth floor, or no, yeah, third floor of the house, which was, like you took like smaller little stairs to get up to that one, and there was no bathroom up there. You had to go down the stairs to the bathroom. So I was pretty freaked out if I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And I'd like have my phone on with the flashlight so I could see down the stairs, and I would like only look at the stairs, like don't look
Don't
around.
go anywhere peripheral. Don't.
Guys, like don't look for anything, just go to the bathroom and get back. And we had one girl there that was hilarious. She told us that she wasn't even on the third floor, she was on the second floor, but she would sleep with her scarf tied around her eyes because she was afraid that she might wake up and open her eyes. She wouldn't even
My gosh.
open it.
There's some creepy thing above you. Is that what? Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So yeah, so I just have funny stuff about people getting freaked out for no reason. But I mean, it was an old house. Part of it like dated back to the Tudor era.
Wow.
So, but
It had some real history then. So was there any kind of like bad things that happened in that house that was
not
like,
that we
recorded?
know of. Yeah, not that we know of. Not that they've told us. But it looked, yeah, they were. It was pretty cool. It had a really cool I don't know what you call it, like the atrium, or like I don't know, like kind of like almost like a greenhouse, but it
Yeah.
was like the patio, but it was like all glass. That thing was like really cool out there. They had a beautiful staircase, like grand staircase, but yeah, we weren't sure what all had gone on there. There's
Sounds
plenty
like
of
a sounds like a game of Clue or
I know.
something, perhaps.
Oh yeah. I
You could have had a
love
lot of fun with that. We could have made up stories. You could have kind of gone
I
through that.
know. Yeah, it was fun, but I will ask, so when I ask this question, I have a running theory that only one person has I guess has debunked. One person who doesn't fall into my theory is that people tend to be either more ghost leaning or alien leaning,
Mm.
as far as to say, like, if you walked into your kitchen and like all the cabinets were open and like some cans were stacked in like a geometric way or whatever, would you automatically think ghost or would you think alien? Because I have a friend who's like straight up alien, and for me, I'm like straight up it's a ghost.
I think I'd have to lean towards the ghost side of
The
it
ghost.
myself. Yeah. I don't know, I have a little bit of problem with the alien side of it, although I loved, as a kid,
Mhm.
loved all those alien
Yeah.
shows, that were out there way before your time. Uh,
Yeah, I had X-Files.
X-Files, yeah, I had Outer Limits,
Oh, yeah.
Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone, that was.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I watched some of the old ones. Yeah.
Do you watch the Twilight Zone marathon that they do for New Year's?
No, I don't think I
Oh
knew. Uh-uh.
gosh, it's like they go through the whole Twilight Zone.
Oh, wow. No, I think I usually play it. What is it? I think Netflix may have them all. Yeah, it's one of the streaming channels where you can just like turn them on and they'll just run. But yeah, so I always say I'm like, aliens fine. I'm not even saying that they don't exist, but they are boring to me. They're way more.
They're why are they boring to you in the sense of what
Yeah, I
makes
get
them boring? Because most people would say, no, no, that's pretty, wild. That's
right.
exciting.
I guess it just doesn't. It seems like they're so, you know, technically or what theoretically, like they're so far away. It's like whatever they can do whatever they want. It's like the ghost might be like right here. What's their story?
So there's a bit of demystification, if you will, because maybe you saw all those shows and you saw the
Oh, right.
graphics or you saw the costumes or something like that,
Yeah,
perhaps.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, one of the kids that's like we learned all about space and all that stuff, and I'm like, like it's whatever. Like, yeah, you guys keep the people who care about it keep studying it.
It's- yeah, it's like my son is always trying to look on the movie. You can see the zipper over there. Look, there's a
Oh, that's
there's a
awesome.
there's a wire going across
I
it
love
that's
it.
floating.
That's awesome. Yeah, I you mentioned Clue, so I love the Clue movie with Tim Curry, and it
Yeah.
was actually on the other day that the channel that we were watching when my parents were here, and it's funny because are you familiar with the movie? Like, have you seen it?
I'm vaguely familiar. I've seen it at least once.
Okay, okay, I've seen it like a million times. I watched it over
Okay.
time.
Well, you're the expert then. Go for it.
I'm a Clue expert, but essentially there's a scene where they're all running upstairs, like two groups of people, and they like run into each other on accident. But what's funny is it took me years, but I noticed like a couple of years ago, it's like those are like stand-in people with horrible wigs.
Yeah. What?
To each other. You don't stunt people for that.
So that's, I guess, the problem with digitalization, or the fact you could slow mo things. You can
It's
start to
true.
see it all for real, maybe.
Right, right. Yeah, we can pick it all apart.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah,
I do have one more story, because
yeah.
one of the places I worked was a company that built computers, and
Hmm.
I was in microelectronics,
Yeah.
and there was a ghost story
Ooh.
about this location.
Hmm.
So the story goes like this: there was a machine
Hmm.
that back in the day wire wrapped a backplane to a computer. Now, wire wrapping is just twisting wires around a pin,
Okay.
and
Okay,
going around.
thanks. Got
But it
it.
automated the process. And this
Uh-huh.
this backplane would kind of twist and turn in
Hmm.
different angles, so the robot could do this wire wrapping.
Hmm.
And it's in a protected sealed thing. Now, I never saw it, but the
Okay.
story goes that this guy was working and maintaining it,
Hmm.
and when he went in to fix a problem, it started by itself and crushed him
Oh my,
inside the machine. And so there were these ladies that had been there forever,
yeah, yeah.
and that they knew the guy, and they every year on the anniversary, it was like, today's the anniversary. You got to be careful. And I was working a second shift. I was like, what are
Yeah,
they
yeah.
talking about? And some of the
Right.
older guys are like, oh, well, this is what happened. And he told me the story.
Yeah, yeah.
So it got to the point, it was almost hysterical watching these older ladies kind of get all upset about the day, the
Right, right.
night. We got to work the night that happened. And so some of us, the machines that they worked on had an aisle in the back that you
Mhm.
could do maintenance on changing gas, changing chemicals, etc. And so we devised this whole plan one night that we would have different people in different in those aisles,
Mhm.
and we had little compressed air bottles and stuff like that, and we timed the poof of an air underneath the machine so the women would feel it on their legs, and it would from one end on the
Yeah.
other, like a ghost was like
Oh my
running
goodness.
through there, and then we rattled some change in the back. The ladies went hysterical and left the whole production line, and it wasn't what we expected, of course. And they were like, "There's a ghost in there. We're not going back in for anything," you know. So we did something that was really disruptive, and that was pretty bad. But it was hysterical. I have to admit, it was pretty
Yeah,
hysterical.
yeah, that's really funny. I feel like that's interesting that the women who it's like remembered when it happened that they would be particularly scared. I feel like if you knew the guy, like, do you expect him to haunt you? Like, I feel like you're like, oh, you guys, it's fine. He won't bother you. But instead, they're like afraid of.
It was, it was, and I really felt bad for them because they really, really were terrified, you know.
Wow.
And it was like, gosh, the last thing I want is somebody to have a heart attack or something, you know. You know,
Gosh, you're like,
we
I'm
were
just
goofing
trying.
around. We were just playing with them, you know.
Right,
So we
right.
had to confess, you know, at the
Oh
end of
no.
the night. It was like, okay, it's okay to go in. We did it, you know.
What did they say when you
They
told them?
hated us. They hated us. Every year thereafter, it's only a few more years that we had worked
Uh-huh.
there. Every year it was like, you guys are going to be right here and you're not moving from this area during this time frame, you know, when it occurred.
Right, right.
We're keeping our eyes on you. That's
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, that is a good story. See, you've got a ghost story.
oh, as a made up one. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, well, yeah, like I mean, you have a crazy, yeah, a crazy story that could lead to a ghost, I guess. I
I
mean,
guess you could.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
since there were people there that remembered the incident happening, it wasn't like a myth of an incident.
Yeah, that was the remarkable thing is they were aware of it and knew it and
Right,
lived through it, so to speak,
right.
which is kind of sad, but
And yeah, yeah, that's
very sad.
crazy.
Well, I
But
apologize. I've been talking so much.
no, that's what it is. You're the guest. But yeah, no, I was just gonna say, thank you so much for being on. I like to ask people if they have any final words, just as basically if there was anything else you wanted to add. Did we miss anything that you wanted to chat about?
I wanted to chat about your teas. Loved them. They were very good.
Thank you.
Excellent. See, they're all gone.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. Thank you.
They were. I would tell anybody the teas that I had. What you sent me, the lemon white was
Yes.
very good. Almost
Mhm.
had a echinacea kind of
Mhm.
flavor to it.
Yeah.
You know, that licorice or anise
Right. There's
flavor to it.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the vanilla chai was
Oh, that.
was very good. I really enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah, I gotta say the vanilla chai is one of my favorites. It's like just smelling it, it's like, oh, this it smells so good.
It was very good. It was very good.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Good.
the strawberry green tea is what I had today, which
Right.
was very, very good.
Awesome. Well, so it's funny when you mentioned how the strawberry green is sweet. So I don't particularly like green tea, and it's like, I'll say traditional since you're just like it's straight, if it's straight up green tea, to me it tastes like grass. So
It does.
I need, yeah. It's like, so when I found that one, and I have a couple other green teas, there's like a jasmine one and there's a cherry rose one. I like those because they don't taste grassy. They're on the sweeter, floral side. And I understand that some people do like regular green tea, but that's just, yeah, my palate has not made it there yet. For the grassy notes.
Well, a very good choice. Thank you for sending those. And also
Absolutely.
wanted to say, gosh, what a great job you've done with Houses of Windsor. So again, congratulations to you and everything that you put together, how you put it together, and you know, the sense of you're so into the Anglophile side of it, and I just love it in that respect, especially after the sense that I did work for a Scottish company for several
Oh, right,
years. So so that piece of it is, you know, gosh, going to Scotland, walking around even England, there were times when I would just feel, you know, we still talk about ghost stories, that
right,
would feel like this is where like King Arthur could have passed here, or you know,
right, right,
whoever, you know, Edward. I mean, this could have been, who
right.
knows what battle took place here or what happened here. It was like they could just feel it. It was like
Yeah,
thick
yeah, yeah,
with
and
the
yeah, it
energy of
wasn't like
that.
this. Yeah, it wasn't spooky, but you could feel like all the energy of like it. Yeah, had
Yeah.
so much, so many people before you there.
And as you talked about the Tower of London, I didn't realize how brutal those British were,
Yeah, yeah, the
especially to
torture.
Scots.
Yeah, yes. I would say the what is it? The oh, the drawn and quartered always
Drawn and
gets
quartered,
me.
yeah. Oof. I could when they were talking about it, I could almost feel like I'm pulling my hands and my arms in. I'm not,
I know. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that one's pretty
that's
bad.
gruesome. But other than that, I really enjoyed having our conversation. I really enjoyed my visits to England, to Scotland, to different
Yes,
places. It was very, very much fun. I really look forward to sometime going back. So
yes. Same here. Yeah. So well, we'll cheers to that. Back to whenever we get to
yeah,
travel to the
excellent.
United
Cheers.
Kingdom again. Cheers. And yeah, so thank you so much,
Yeah,
Mickey Rechkemer, business advisor, for being on my show today, Virtual Tea Time with Amy. And I guess so. I should. I've been told by various business coaches that I need to promote myself more. So
absolutely.
I appreciate you talking about my tea. And for yeah, those of you who don't know, it's housesofwindsor.com. And I've got tea and British imports, and I now have British soaps and like lotions and perfumes and stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm bringing in some pretty cool English lines of things. But
Excellent.
okay, so thank you so much, Mickey.
Thank
And
you.
this does count as a one-to-one, so you get credit as well.
I'll put it in.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for watching now and into eternity as it goes on YouTube.
Uh-oh, that's right. What did I
Yeah,
say that I don't want to regret now? Hmm.
I could take something. I could take it
No, I'm
down.
just kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
know,
I'm
I know.
kidding.
I don't think you said anything. Um, okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mickey. I will talk to you later. Okay,
Great. Thanks.
great.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.